I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money. This is how. Filmmakers across the board seem to be frustrated, angry, and maybe even a little paranoid. What is it about indie film that frustrates us so? I went into a few Facebook groups and here on YouTube and asked, what is your biggest frustration with indie filmmaking?
How disposable art is with streaming. Way too many people that only stream something once and move on, even if they claim to love it, as well as the people who just refuse to see or support anything unless it's included in a service they already have. And even then, it's not totally for sure they won't use Tubi, but with an ad blocker.
I hear you, and I don't want to dismiss this frustration, but look, the world is evolving. Streaming is not going anywhere. It's the future. Hell, it's the now. And frankly, all the bitching about streaming from filmmakers is really just starting to sound to me like old men yelling at clouds. In a nutshell, nobody cares. Not the critics, not audiences, not festivals, not streamers, not even other indie filmmakers anymore. I know when it comes to your filmmaking, it can feel at times like you're alone and no one cares. But if you create something that can connect with an audience and you know how to find that audience, it will. And if the other filmmakers that you're surrounding yourself with really don't care, you're surrounding yourself with the wrong filmmakers. But it's practically impossible to find a good sales agent or a good distributor. Most of them are vultures and crooks, and there is no direct access to any of the good platforms. And unless you know someone who knows someone, you're basically screwed. Nepotism rules the world in this business. I am quite honestly just done with this train of thought. Yes, there are predatory and awful distributors out there. True, but it is not all of them. Hell, I don't even believe it's most of them. There are plenty of legit and honest companies out there that you can get your movies out through, and fairly easy. Indie Rights, Uncorked, FilmHUB, just to name a few. And I want to remind some less experienced filmmakers out there, just because you didn't see any money on a certain movie, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got ripped off. Some movies literally make pennies. It's just what the market does today to some films. It does happen. Now, this isn't to say that you should just blindly accept that and not do your due diligence and not look at your reports from your distributor or not ask them about it, but automatically jumping to the you're being ripped off if you don't make any money, it's just not the way it is. Sometimes, some movies, they just don't earn. And honestly, more don't earn than do. That is the market. I find it amazing that 99% of the people I find in groups online, they're wanting and begging to see independent, what the strange cult films, and they always respond with a yes, sure, please send the link. I'd be happy to watch it. I'd be happy to tell you what I think. And then crickets. Nothing said. Not even a reply saying they watched it or just to be kind or it sucked. They always say they will watch it that night. LOL. So your take here is anecdotal at best. Just because someone doesn't respond doesn't mean they didn't watch it or enjoy it. Some people just don't communicate that way on social media. Some people are anxious. Some people have social anxieties. Some people just don't like to respond to old posts. Maybe they forgot about the post, watched the movie, like, oh, this is cool. And it just didn't occur to them to go back and comment. And sure, look, I know I'm being a little Pollyanna here, and most of the time they're just not watching it, but that's okay too. You know, maybe your movie, for whatever reason, it just didn't pull them in. Your movie is not entitled to an audience. The movie has to earn an audience. Your marketing has to earn it. And keep in mind, social media interaction is not real world reality. It's just a projection or perception of it. I think for me, it was figuring out what I classify as the indie film era, 80s and 90s. It just doesn't fit in with the 30-second attention spans of the cell phone addicted era. Yeah, that is a concern. How do we as filmmakers keep an audience's attention in an ever shortening attention span? That's a good question for next time. But whatever you do, keep making movies.